Hey guys, I know it's been a while. There's been a lot going on and I'm going to do a whole nother video on that. But today, my awesome friend Ellie and I are working on her Renaissance Fair costume, or costumes. We ended up going a little fabric crazy at the store, but it's okay. So we're going to do bodice making, and so we're just going to show you how to do your own pattern and how simple it can be. So number one thing you need is an old t-shirt that you do not care about because it's going to get cut up. Second thing you need is a roll of duct tape. Any color or pattern you want, but it can be really fun when you do it in bright colors. Last thing you need is a Sharpie so you can draw it out, and of course you're going to need scissors to cut it off. So we're going to get started.
Okay, so one of the things that's very important is that you get enough duct tape to complete the project. We should have grabbed 2 to 3 rolls so that you can get a solid cover all the way over the body, all the way around it, so it gets a really nice and snug fit. You are going to completely encase your friend's upper body in duct tape. In Ellie's case, we were de-emphasizing the chest instead of emphasizing. So when it came to actually doing the part duct taping the chest, instead of her wearing a really good push-up bra and starting with the tape beneath the chest and really pulling it up and over to the shoulders, and when you were coming across straight, going across and pulling up, we pulled across and down. She wanted to really de-emphasize the difference between her chest and her waist, which is a bit more period correct for Tudor costumes. This way of making a bodice is actually really good for bodies that don't fit into the quote-unquote normal proportions. So if someone is very wide up top but narrower in the hips, or has a very large bust with a very tiny waist and small shoulder build, or they have really wide hips but they don't have and a much smaller upper body, by doing a bodice pattern with the duct tape, you're getting it very individualized to that person, so that when you cut out the pattern and it fits them, it looks, well, it's made for them, so it looks really good, as opposed to trying to find something that fits, or sort of making do with something that doesn't quite fit the proportions. So as you can see here, Ellie's chest has been very de-emphasized. It's become one sort of flat form, which is what we were trying to do. When you're taping the person up, you want it to fit like a second skin on the body. You want it to be really close, very tight around them, so you're going to get to know your friend very well. You're going to be up close and personal. There's really not a personal boundary. So I didn't do a very good job of turning around and showing you the back, but the back is taped up like the front is. It's all the way around. We don't want to see any t-shirt between the duct tape, and we want it just to really show the exact body form how it is. Make sure you get up and under the armpit. You want to create that hole for where the sleeve is going to be, and you want it to be closer to accurate. So now you can see the back. As we're going, we're discussing how high she wants the front, how high she wants the back. We're discussing the length of it. The duct tape is not near as long as she wanted this bodice to be. So right in here, very shortly, we realized that we did not have enough duct tape, and this is why I said at the beginning, grab 2 to 3 rolls to get solid cover. Yes, you have the super tiny skinny minis, pre-teens or girls that are just really tiny, that you don't need so much duct tape. So you see me taking duct tape from other areas to finish out half. What you will find when you're doing the entire body is there was always going to be one side that just sits better, looks more like what you're wanting to do, and that side, there's just going to be a better half, and that's the half that you're going to draw the pattern on. We looked at her front and said this half is the better half, so because I've done this 75 to 100 times probably, I was able to take it and remove half and just really form up the half that looked good and get the same pattern quality as I would have gotten doing the whole thing. So please don't just start switching it over until you've had a lot of experience and you really can see what's going on. Now, when we went to get the duct tape, Elly is larger than I am. However, she's also got a very, very long torso. So you definitely want more duct tape for heavier set people and for longer torsoed people as well.
Lovely model. So we have a half side that's good. Let's come closer. Okay, so on the, here we go. On the half that's good, we're going to draw out our actual cut lines and sew lines so that we have our final pattern.
Okay, so you're going to draw the seam lines, the neckline, armholes, the bottom edge. There should be a center line for both the front and the back. The center line you want to get directly above the sternum and down across the belly button. The straight seam for the back you want to get straight on the vertebrae. One, you're going to cut on a fold so that it creates a double of the half of the pattern. The other one you'll cut on the edge, and that's where you'll lace up. Depending on where your lacing opening you want to be, whether you want it to be on the front or the back. You're going to have one line directly under the arm, and you're going to have one splitting the front panel and one splitting the back panel. So Elly wanted a higher neckline, a flatter front, and a normal back. So to do that, we followed the shoulder line down to create a V sort of section in the front that will have a pattern. We did not create a curve from where the armhole is down across the breast and to the waist, like you'll see the curve on the back side of the pattern, so that it's not as curvy, it's a more straight fit. Once you've completed drawing your pattern with the Sharpie, it's also good to make sure that your Sharpie is full of ink. My Sharpie ran out part of the way through the process. You want to write the person's name and then the name of each of the panels so that you can easily put them back in the correct order when you're trying to pin the patterning. So on the front we said Elly front panel, then Elly front side, then there's Elly back side, and Elly back. When you're done, it should look something like we had an image somewhere in here, and that's it.
Okay, so because I misjudged on the duct tape, we did one side. However, I've also done this a whole lot, so doing it only on one side I was able to do. We've drawn out the pattern that we want the pieces to end up being in. Now it's time to cut her out, cut out the pattern, and we'll start prepping and cutting out the pattern onto the fabric. So, okay, at this point, we did a little bit of quick putting garments under. You take a pair of scissors that are not shears. If you know the difference, you understand why. If you don't know the difference, here's why. Shears are very, very fine-tuned, sharp scissors. However, they are for fabric only. Anytime you cut with scissors on something other than fabric, like through duct tape or paper, it dulls the scissors. And you want the sharpest scissors you can find to cut through fabric and have the cleanest line and the best cut. So non-shear scissors to cut your friend out. And Elly's going to turn around for us. To help modesty for people, cut up the back. And you cut up that back line that you drew for the pattern. When you're cutting, you want to put your hand under the fabric against their back so that as you're cutting, your hand is preventing the scissors from cutting your friend, and you can also feel for their bra strap and prevent it from cutting their underwear as well. So you just cut them out, they slip it off. And you cut out the rest of the pattern on the lines and you're ready to go. Hope you found this educational. As always, please hit like, subscribe, and if you have any ideas of videos I could do, let me know.